And away we go on Friday Night Baseball. Profar pops it up behind the infield. Stott back.
Welcome to Baseball Extra, where we dive deep into the heart-pounding action of Major League Baseball. Last night, the Philadelphia Phillies delivered a stunning blow to the Atlanta Braves in Game 1 of their highly anticipated series, leaving Braves fans and players alike reeling. Was this a temporary stumble for Atlanta or a sign of deeper issues? And can the Braves bounce back from this crushing defeat? Stick with us on Baseball Extra as we break down every play, every strategic decision, and every unforgettable moment from a night that had massive playoff implications. Hello, Baseball Extra fans, and thanks for joining us. What a night in Philadelphia. The atmosphere was absolutely electric, and the Phillies fed off that energy, delivering a performance that has sent shockwaves through the National League. This wasn't just a win, it was a statement. The Braves, a team known for their resilience, found themselves on the wrong end of a powerful offensive display, especially from one player who seems to be writing his own MVP narrative. Let's not mince words. Michael Harris, too, and the Atlanta Braves are absolutely licking their wounds after getting torched in Game 1 of this critical four-game series. Last night was a truly dominant performance from the Phillies, and it was all about one man, Kyle Schwarber. His historic night at the plate not only snapped the Phillies out of a three-game losing streak, but also significantly elevated his case for the National League MVP award. More importantly for Philadelphia, this crucial victory stretched their lead back to 5 games over the New York Mets in the division race, putting them in a very comfortable position as we head deeper into the season's final stretch. The mound battle began with Ranger Suarez for the Phillies, a pitcher who has been nothing short of terrific this season. He's quietly put together his third straight season of 10 or more wins, showcasing remarkable consistency and control. This was his 21st start of the year, and he came in with confidence, ready to challenge the powerful Braves lineup. The game began with Jurickson and Profar stepping up to the plate. Suarez, poised on the mound, went into his windup, and the Friday night baseball action was officially underway. Profar, however, popped it up behind the infield. Stott, the second baseman, backpedaled expertly, tracking the ball and making the catch for the first out. A relatively easy start for Suarez. Next up was Matt Olson, one of the most dangerous sluggers in the game. Olson put a little flair on his swing, sending a soft liner towards the left side. Kepler was coming on hard, but just couldn't get there in time, and it dropped for a one-out single for Matt Olson. This put the first runner on base for the Braves and brought up the electrifying Ronald Acuna Jr. Acuna, always a threat, sent a fly ball to center field. Marsh was underneath it, making the catch for the second out. 2 outs now, and the Braves needed to generate some offense with Ozzie Albies stepping into the batter's box. Albies, a spark plug for this Atlanta team, scorched this one into the corner, a clean hit that bounced off the wall. Olson, who was at first, hustled around, heading to third, but held up there. Now the Braves had 2 runners in scoring position with 2 outs, a prime opportunity to grab an early lead. This brought up Marcell Ozuna. The Phillies' defense tightened. Suarez delivered the payoff pitch, and it was low and in, kicking away from Martian. The bases were now loaded. That was a significant moment. It was the first walk Ranger Suarez had issued in a remarkable 15 innings, showcasing just how precise he had been. With the bases juiced, the pressure mounted on the next batter. Michael Harris, too, the very player we spotlighted in our open. He's had a truly terrific second half to this season, and the Braves needed him to deliver. Interestingly, the Braves have had a tendency to leave men on base, a recurring theme that has plagued them at times this season. And in this crucial moment, Harris hit a fly ball to shallow right field. Castellanos charged hard, made the catch, and the inning was over. The bases-loaded threat for the Braves evaporated, and they were unable to score. A huge escape for Suarez and the Phillies, and a frustrating missed opportunity for Atlanta. Now, let's talk about the Braves' starting pitcher, Bryce Elder. He towed the rubber for Atlanta. Elder was an all-star just 2 years ago, but he has really struggled with consistency since then. His ERA has been higher than usual, and he's been working to find the previous form. Early on, he got a ground ball up the middle. Albies made the play, and the Braves' defense looked sharp, but the momentum quickly shifted. We then saw Kyle Schwarber, who came to the plate with a career-high 49 home runs. He now has a very legitimate chance at an MVP award, and the chance of MVP. MVP rained down from the stands as he stepped up. Schwarber hit a ground ball to second, put out, but the crowd's energy was palpable. The Braves' offense tried to get something going again. Sean Murphy led off. Murphy has struggled somewhat this season, batting just .207, though he does have 16 home runs to his name. But this time, Murphy put the ball into the gap. It was down for a base hit and rolled all the way to the wall. Sean Murphy with the second extra base hit of the night for Atlanta. This came right after the rookie Nacho Alvarez Jr. had been inserted into the lineup. Austin Riley had a season-ending abdominal injury, so Alvarez has been the everyday third baseman since then, stepping into some big shoes. Alvarez grounded out here, and Murphy was unable to advance. Then, a soft hit off the hands, a dying fastball, dropped into right field for a hit for Nick Allen, who has been filling in at the corners for the Braves. 1 out. Profar, who was 0 for 1 with a pop-out, then hit a ground ball up the middle. A base hit, and that would score the game's first run. Murphy came in from third, Allen went first to third, and the Braves finally had the lead, 1-0. Profar has been hot for the Braves, and this hit was a prime example of his recent offensive contributions. Olsen then hit one up the middle that ricocheted off Suarez's glove, right to the waiting Turner, who quickly turned it into a double play, 1-6-3, and the side was retired. The Braves took the lead, but the inning ended with a double play, limiting their damage. Right-hander Bryce Elder, 5-9 on the year, with an ERA of 6.12, continued to pitch. He faced the bottom of the Phillies order, number 7, 8, and 9. Kepler struck out, giving Elder 1 out. Bryson Stott, the left-handed hitting second baseman, then hit a ground ball for a base hit, and that was the first base runner of the night for Philadelphia against Elder. Marsh then popped it up to left field. Harris converged with Acuna, and Harris made the catch for the second out. Turner, who was 0 for 1 with a ground out to second, then popped one up into the infield foul ground. Olsen positioned himself perfectly underneath it and made the catch. You could sense the frustration at the plate from Turner, but the Braves still held on to their slim 1-0 lead. Then, a pivotal moment. Kyle Schwarber came to the plate. Elder was being extremely careful with Schwarber, especially with those 49 homers looming. He walked Schwarber on 4 pitches. This put a runner on and brought up Bryce Harper against Elder. And in a surprising move, Harper showed bunt, and there was nobody over near third base. It was a bunt base hit for Bryce Harper. Schwarber, who was at first, headed to second, looking back at Harper, almost as if to say, "Hey, what are you doing there, pal?" A truly unexpected, yet effective play. This put 2 runners on with 1 out for Brandon Marsh. Marsh then drilled one into the gap. It was down for a hit. Marsh, who is a fantastic athlete, hit it into the gap, and a run would score for Philadelphia. Brandon Marsh with an RBI single to tie the game. The Phillies had cashed in that walk to Schwarber, and the game was tied at 1-1 in the 4th inning. Castellanos was up next, unable to hold his swing, fouling one off, and Castellanos was retired. This brought up Kepler, who hits them 3 straight to the left side, shallow. Profar jogged in and made the catch. The inning was over, but Brandon Marsh's RBI single had tied the game. The Braves looked to respond. First and third, 1 down for Marcell Ozuna. Ozuna found himself in a similar situation to what he had back in the 1st inning, batting with runners at second and third. He hit one off the hands into right field, but it was catchable for Castellanos. Here came Olsen from third. Castellanos threw it on the money. A perfect throw. Olsen was gunned down at the plate from third by Castellanos. What an incredible defensive play that prevented the Braves from regaining the lead. It had been a great night for Bryce Elder, surprisingly. Go figure, right? The pitcher with the highest ERA in the National League was outlasting Ranger Suarez through much of this game. Kepler tapped one in front of the mound. Elder came off the mound to field and throw, making the play. Stott 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out, then hit one in the air to center field. Harris converged with Acuna, and Harris made the catch. Martian struck out, making it a 1-2-3 7th inning for Bryce Elder. This was, without a doubt, one of his best starts all year, one of his best starts in a long, long while, showcasing his potential. But the game remained tied, 1-1, as we moved to the top of the order for the Phillies in the 8th inning. The Braves went to their bullpen, bringing in Dylan Lee, the lefty, to face Trey Turner to lead things off. Turner tried to tap one in front of the mound, but the defense was there to make the play. It's in these moments where Kyle Schwarber has truly been a difference maker for the Phillies all season, and he proved it again. Schwarber hit a broken bat little flare. It died in front of Harris, and the go-ahead run was aboard for the Phillies in the eighth. This was a huge hit, putting the pressure back on the Braves. Here came Harper, who was 1 for 3 on the night, with his only hit being that surprising bunt single. Harper then rolled one up the middle for a base hit. Schwarber, who was at first, hustled to third, and the Phillies were set up with men at the corners and 1 out. Manager Brian Snitker went to his bullpen again, bringing in Pierce Johnson, who has been virtually lights out over his last 14 games. Truly a dominant force. But Alec Baum has been terrific with runners in scoring position this season, consistently coming up with big hits. Baum then hit the ball deep to right field. That might get a run home. Acuna made the catch in right, but Schwarber tagged from third, and the Phillies had the lead. There was just no margin for error for Pierce Johnson in that situation. You come in, you have to get the punch out or the ground ball. Baum's fly ball was perfect enough to score the runner. And now, Brandon Marsh, who already had an RBI for the Phillies tonight, drilled one up the middle for a 2-out single. The Phillies were extending their lead. Castellanos was up next, laying off pitches, and he was walked on 4 pitches. The bases were loaded again, this time for the Phillies. Kepler, who was 0 for 3 on the season against curveballs, hitting just 175 against them, then popped it up to the left side of the infield. Alvarez underneath it, made the catch, and the inning was over. But the Phillies had taken the lead, leaving the bases loaded. They would then hand the reins to Seranthony Dominguez, who has been a formidable closer. Tell you what, that entrance was unbelievable. Dominguez has 7 saves in 9 opportunities since joining the Phillies, showcasing his dominant stuff. Jurickson Profar, who had that RBI single in the second, then struck out swinging at a 102 miles per hour fastball. Dominguez absolutely blew him away with the heat. Look at that location up and away with movement. Just an unhittable pitch. The last hope for the Braves was Matt Olson. Dominguez shut the door, reaching back for one more pitch, and it was a good night for the Phillies. After getting swept by the New York Mets, the Phillies had bounced back with back-to-back wins, showing their mettle. Alex, you can feel it in the air. The Phillies are getting October ready. This team is playing with a renewed sense of purpose, and this win against the Braves is a testament to their potential. This game was a perfect example of high-stakes baseball where every single pitch, every single swing, and every single defensive play could change the outcome. The Atlanta Braves showed glimpses of their offensive power, but ultimately couldn't convert crucial opportunities. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Phillies capitalized on theirs, demonstrating their knack for clutch hitting and strong relief pitching. This series is far from over, and we can expect the Braves to come back with a vengeance in the next game. The MLB playoffs race is heating up, and nights like these remind us why we love this sport. That's all for this in-depth breakdown on Baseball Extra. If you enjoyed our analysis and want more exclusive baseball content, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us bring you more of the in-depth coverage you love. Don't miss our next video where we'll be breaking down Game 2 of this series. Thanks for watching.